The Social Security fund is running out of money right before our eyes. What was once meant to help you when you retire is now being cut. There's a lot of misconceptions about the Social Security fund. In fact, 1 in 4 millennials expect to receive nothing from Social Security. They assume it will be gone. They're wrong. The truth is a little bit stranger than that. If you're around 30 today, married, both you and your spouse earn an average wage, the Urban Institute calculated what you're scheduled to receive in lifetime Social Security and Medicare benefits. That number is nearly $2 million, which is adjusted for inflation, roughly double what today's retirees get. That number comes with one condition attached. It assumes you receive all the benefits you've been scheduled to receive. And according to the program's own trustees, that money does not exist. You're paying 12.4% every paycheck into a promise nobody funded. The real question becomes, what will you actually collect when it's time to retire? So no one actually has a Social Security account. There's no balance somewhere with your contributions in it. The money taken out of your paycheck this week was mailed to a retiree this month. That's how the fund was designed, as a pay-as-you-go fund. Today's workers pay today's retirees. And when you retire, you get paid by whoever's working then. That was the deal in 1935, when roughly half of American seniors lived in poverty, and the program was built to fix it. It works under one condition: enough workers per retiree. In 1950, about 16 workers paid in for every person collecting. Today, it's closer to 2.5. We weren't defrauded, but the math has changed. People had fewer children and lived much longer. A system designed around 16 to 1 is now running at 2.5 to 1. Congress saw a version of this coming in 1983. They raised the retirement age and raised payroll taxes, deliberately overcharging that generation to build a surplus for when the boomers retired. That surplus is the trust fund, and you're watching the last of it get spent. In 2010, Social Security's cost passed its non-interest income. In 2021, total cost passed total income. Since then, the program has run a deficit every year, covering the difference out of that 1983 surplus. In 2025, the combined trust funds fell $160 billion to $2.56 trillion. This year, annual cost is projected to exceed annual income and stay there for the entire 75-year projection window. On June 9, 2026, the trustees delivered their report. The retirement trust fund is projected to be depleted in the fourth quarter of 2032. Depleted doesn't mean bankrupt. Payroll taxes keep arriving as long as people work, so the program keeps paying. It just can't legally pay out more than it collects. So the benefits don't stop, they shrink. At depletion, incoming taxes cover about 78% of scheduled benefits. That's the 2032 number, a 22% cut, hitting everyone collecting at once. Under current projections, that share keeps falling, toward the low 60s by the end of the century, which means the size of your cut is a function of your age. Someone retiring in 2032 gets 78%. Someone retiring in the 2050s or 2060s on current projections gets less. The younger you are, the wider the gap between what you were promised and what arrives. The total distance between the promise and the funding over 75 years is $30.3 trillion. Nobody in Washington wants a 22% cut to land on schedule, so something gets changed. There's really only 4 options, and every proposal is somewhat of a mix of them. So 1, they raise the payroll tax. It's 12.4% today on wages up to $184,500. Raise the rate or raise that cap. So who pays? It's you, immediately, out of every paycheck for the rest of your working life. Option 2 is raise the retirement age. This is the politician's favorite because it doesn't sound like a cut. It is one. You collect for fewer years. Who pays? You, not the current retirees. Changes like this are phased in on people with time left to absorb them. Option 3 is cut benefits directly, or quietly, by changing how cost of living increases are calculated. Now, who pays for this? It depends entirely on the phase-in, historically younger workers. Option 4, merge the trust funds. The disability fund stays solvent for the full 75 years. Combine them and depletion moves from 2032 to 2034, and the cut softens from 22% to about 17%. Who pays for this? Nobody yet, which is exactly why it's the most likely first move. It requires a change in law and it fixes nothing. It only buys 2 years. So 3 of the 4 options take money from people who are still working, and the 4th is just a delay. It's just how these phase-ins work. The people with 30 years left are the only new ones who can absorb the change gradually, which makes them the one who do. So the fact of the matter is, you will get something. The I'll receive nothing assumption is wrong. Payroll taxes don't just stop. It will very likely be less than what your statement says. Your Social Security statement shows scheduled benefits. Scheduled does not mean funded. Those are 2 different numbers, and the gap is about $30 trillion. The most likely outcome isn't a dramatic collapse of Social Security. It's some combination of paying a bit more, working a bit longer, and collecting somewhat less. This will arrive gradually enough that no single year feels like the year that it quote-unquote happened. So which is the actual danger. It's not that Social Security is going to vanish, it's that it's quietly becoming a smaller piece of your retirement that you planned around while you keep paying full price for it. So, as of right now, every 2 weeks, you're having that 12.4% taken out of your wages into a program built for a country with 16 workers per retiree, operating in one that only has two and a half. You're not being promised nothing, but you're being promised nearly $2 million by an institution that has published every year in writing for over a decade that it can't pay it. If you want more breakdowns of where your money actually goes, subscribe.